Hey LAN Party Gamers, today we're going to do a computer swap from our Dreamcast computer case over to an MX500 from MITXPC. Stay tuned. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the Dreamcast computer apart and we're going to be putting it into this MITX system. This should theoretically give us more airflow so that we don't have to underclock the CPU, because right now the CPU in this thing is a bit of a beast and we have to underclock it to keep it from overheating in this case. So as you can imagine, there's not a whole lot of airflow in this thing. So let's get taking it apart. The fan isn't even screwed in all the way. It was just sitting on top. This isn't the original fan that came with it. I had to replace it with something a little bit beefier. I had a low profile fan on this thing so that the lid could close, but after the shows that we were doing, where I was showing this thing off, I needed it to actually do some performance, so I decided that a small fan was not beneficial anymore. See, it actually closes now. Because I had to remove a whole lot of the plastic on this back corner especially, I ended up using this hinge latch lock thing. It does a pretty good job actually. I would, after unscrewing and screwing these screws, the threading on the plastic probably is a lot less secure than that latch, to be quite honest. And eventually, it should just pop out. Yeah, so this is what it looks like on the inside. I custom did a LED that I hot glued into the bottom of the Dreamcast case. Here's the power button. And see, it's working good because it's not rubbing up against the RAM. But that's all hot glued in there. I probably won't even try to sacrifice to get this fan again. It's really in there. Oh God, what else is this held in by? There's a... Oh man. I hope this thing doesn't shock me. Get out. Yeah. I actually had to trim it here in order to get the fan on the side to spin. And then if you look over here, two of these come out of here to feed the power to the CPU 4-pin adapter, and I had to cut, splice, and lengthen it to get it to reach the CPU pin. Hold on. But it seems to do the trick. It actually has a little bit of scorch marking here on this side. So here's something that's not going to be coming with. The USB that's glued into the front is going to be staying with the Dreamcast, so I'm just going to have to take them out. And what's funny is this really big USB 3 cable it works just fine, even though I had to like bend it and melt it to get it to fit in here. This smaller, more flexible USB 2 plugs stopped working after a while, and we haven't been able to use the two out of the 4 plugs on the front of the case for most of the Dreamcast's life. So those are staying with the computer, unfortunately, or not coming with it. And it frees up this really dirty old heatsink. We're going to be replacing this heatsink that has no heat pipes, has a very poor fin density, with this way more advanced heat pipe cooled one with a much probably better fan. It's a little smaller, but it has heat pipes and it's got a much higher fin density. So that'll be cool. Hopefully we'll give that a try. Talk about cable management. And I think that frees up the top of the old case. Goodbye, everybody. This is where the power plugs into the case, and then it goes into, and this is the actual power supply. I used electrical tape to keep it from shorting, and it's not actually properly grounded. You can see it's just there. So that will feed the power into the new case. Let's see if we can find a better spot for that on the install. Okay. All right, so we finally removed the Wi-Fi antennas, and time to try to remove the motherboard again. Here we go. Oh, what's in the way here? Hey, there they are. So that is the entire motherboard. Pretty cool. So we're going to set that to the side. And underneath there, this whole time, is our solid state. Which I can take all this black tape off. I was using black tape a lot to keep shorts from happening. So I'll finally take that off. Unfortunately, it's not an OZC one. That would make too much sense for the shirt I'm wearing tonight. It's a Crucial M500. All right, so that does it for this case. Oh, forgot the IO shield. See if I can... It's just hot glue, so it should just peel off.
You need heat, and then you can peel it off.
Yeah.
Throw it in the microwave for 10 seconds.
You're a bad influence, sir. How many people have told you that?
Plenty of people. I'm just not one of those that listen. You have a heat gun, or?
Yeah, I have a heat gun. There we go. A wise man once said, "Don't forget to wear a glove." There we go. Oh, there's a piece that we're missing. We're going to get a new CPU. So, special treat. You're going to remember this case from our Silverstone Raven review. This is my LAN rig, and it has the same socket as the Dreamcast computer, or I guess I don't know what I'm going to call the computer now, the former Dreamcast computer. But the thing is it's got a better CPU than the Dreamcast computer does. And I don't really need it because the only real difference is this has got an unlocked multiplier and it's got a much better internal GPU, but I'm rocking an RX 480, so I don't need that extra horsepower for graphics. So I figure I'll put the built-in GPU that's much better in the computer that only has a GPU that's built in, and put that processor in this rig that has a different video card. Is that a spider?
Big ass fucking spider.
Oh.
It's like a golden spider.
You didn't have to kill it.
I know.
Okay. That's creepy.
It's recording too.
Oh. Yeah, this needed it. So now that we've got everything cleaned off and air compressed off, we're going to swap out the CPUs from my gaming rig into the Dreamcast computer. So for those of you who are wondering, the CPU, the APU the old one was an AMD A8 6600, and the one that we're putting in it is an A10 7800. So judging by numbers, that are many more numbers than the last one. So now, this is it. This is the whole computer case. Yeah, definitely magnetic parts tray, because these tiny screws are itty bitty. Itty bitty. All right.
Power switch.
So get this out of here, and I'll show everybody the stuff. Those little feets. Here's some kind of brackets, maybe hard drive or some sort. And then 2 USB 2 ports and a power jack. So it'll have the same I/O as when the Dreamcast only had 2 front ports. And on the back, you have the standard I/O port. You have a punch-out block for a VGA, a punch-out block for a power, and 3 punch-out blocks for Wi-Fi antenna, and a keystone jack for Kensington locks. So, on the bottom, you have VESA mounting holes to put this on the back of the TV. In fact, when we're on the road, I might just use these because that could be really useful for couch conflict type co-op games where we just put this on the back of the TV. But we need to drill a hole for the power to go through, so we're thinking about right there, right below these cutouts. Okay, so we got the motherboard in, and now we're just screwing it in. We had to take out a PCB that has the power button and the USB button on it, so we'll see if we can get that back in after the fact. And now I'm just screwing the 4 screws in. I want to be able to use this grounding strap on the inside, and there's a convenient spot to ground right on the case, assuming I don't lose the screw. Yeah, I got it. Good old magnetics. Nobody knows how they work. There. Now the case is grounded. That looks pretty good.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Let's try it. This is the back. This is the back. Oh.
It actually worked!
It's too...
Jeez.
The fan's too tall. The fan... Where's this? The fan is too tall. And then this is the arm as well. So...
TBD.
Well, TBD. All right, we'll be back. I went ahead and used a grinder with a cutting wheel in order to get the fan to poke out of the top of the case here. I also added 4 screw holes on the side to make sure that there's enough pressure to keep the top on, and everything seems to fit just fine. I do plan on putting some extra fans on the side to get some of the hot air that the top fan brings into the case out. Everything seemed to fit in here after the top fan, and I, to be honest, like having it outside of the case so that it brings in fresh air right onto the CPU. I'll probably add a grate or something on top of it just to keep people's fingers and whatnot out of it. This computer is going to be used to host the streams directly from the garage when we do LAN parties here at the house. So what I'm going to be doing is hooking up an Elgato HD to capture the monitor signal from whatever I might be playing that day, as well as a few webcams throughout the garage. And this thing will cycle between the webcams while showing the HD signal from the display, and that will take all of the processor and GPU load off of my system so that we don't have any lags for the stream and the people watching at home. Well, anyway, I hope you liked this video, and if you have any questions about this case specifically, please feel free to leave a comment below. The built-in power supply that it comes with is fine. It actually might be better as far as how well it performs under stress and load than the one that I bought for this gaming motherboard here, but it is a little underpowered. So if you're going to go with something like an APU, they do have a very low power AMD system that we put in another one of these cases that we use for things like Artemis and some other really light games, and we also use that system in this very case when we're on the road as a storage server for things like LAN parties on the go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do share this video. We really appreciate it, and thanks to getting over 100 subscribers. It might not seem like a lot, at first, but I think with more and more people finding out about us, that we're just going to keep growing, and I really hope to put on a lot more content for you guys, and we really appreciate the support. So please do your best to share us as much as you can, and of course you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch under San Diego LAN. You can find out when we're going to be having our next event here at sandiegolan.net. Thanks for watching.